Hey everybody, it's another episode of Movie Crunch Podcast. I say podcast because hopefully we'll be doing skits on this channel soon.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
You'll get to see our pretty faces.
Yes.
And our exemplary acting ability.
And our modest budget.
And our good looks.
Yes.
Very modest budget.
Yeah. But as always, it's Movie Crunch Podcast time, and as always, I'm Eric O'Donnell.
Nate Schaffner.
Hannah Sutter.
And we're here on Movie Crunch, we're here to talk about movies. Some bad, and some good.
And some just god awful.
And some just god awful. Like the movie we are going to talk about today. I mean, I wouldn't say it's necessarily god awful.
It's a cult classic, so you're always going to be on one side of the spectrum.
Yes, that's very true. It's got that cult status film thing. We're talking about Clueless, starring Alicia Silverstone, Stacey Dash, Brittany Murphy.
Yeah,
those are the three big ones.
And Paul Rudd is in it.
Paul Rudd is in it as well. And so is the guy who played George on the Garfield movie, which was really random.
That's Breckin Meyer.
Yeah.
Wow. Pulled that one out of nowhere.
Yeah, I'm like, I saw that guy before when we and Nate were watching this today.
In the Garfield movie, he plays the owner of
Garfield.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, but yeah, this is it's one of those. It was released in 1995.
Yes,
and it's
two years before Batman and Robin.
Yeah, and watching this, I can clearly see that they made the right decision making Alicia Silverstone Batgirl.
Was that sarcasm?
Yes, because
God. You know, that's such a ridiculous statement. I can't deal with.
Yeah, because I just want to know, like, I know this isn't about this. We're not talking about Batman and Robin. I just want to say, like, how watching this were you like, she'd be a good Batgirl?
Yeah. You get
I have no idea. I don't know. There must have been something else, or she must have had a killer screen test or something.
She must have slept with
I don't
somebody.
know. But that's neither
I
here
was
nor
just going
there.
to say maybe she slept with.
Maybe she slept with Joel Schumacher.
That is horrible.
It is horrible. I'm sorry.
There has to be a reason.
I don't know.
All right,
she's very attractive,
Clueless.
and maybe they thought they could mold her into.
Yeah, maybe she was thrown on there for like the Megan Fox thing. I don't know.
I don't know. Either way,
like it is for today. But whatever. This movie was directed by Amy Heckerling.
Now, let me first say, just blanket statement. Of course, I so entirely want women directors and writers to do well, so it pains me deeply that I don't really like, the writing and or directing on this all too much.
I agree.
As if.
But I wanted to preface, I wanted to preface this conversation by saying, there was a very, small area for women to succeed in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. So maybe part of the reason that this movie is so, soapy and, candy-like, sugary.
Like super sweet. Like this movie's going to give you a cavity.
Yeah. I think part of that might have been because that's how she could get a movie sold. I had to try to put that hat on for a second.
Yeah. No, actually, Hannah, just a spoiler alert, me and Nate really want you to keep that hat on for this entire podcast episode. Because
this hat never comes off.
We know that you have tons of stuff to say about this, and we all do. We have all tons of stuff to say about this.
And we're waiting.
And it's going to be great because this is going to be probably if you've been a loyal listener of this podcast for our past 5 episodes. First of all, thank you very much. Secondly, the past 5 movies we've done, they've been really good movies. Like we've all loved the past 5 movies we've done.
We started strong.
We started pretty strong, and we wanted to.
But we feel that we also should do not just good movies, but just awful movies.
But
too.
that are talked about.
That are talked about.
And some people have it in their
Rolodex
of movies.
And some people really love this movie. And you know what? I can see why some people can really love it.
And
I can see it.
To be fair, I don't think some movies would exist had this movie not happened.
No, I don't. I
Girls.
Agree. Well, no, Mean Girls. This is like Mean Girls Begins. This is what this is. This is like Mean Girls Begins.
Well,
definitely.
To be fair, we also mentioned Paul Rudd is in this movie. And to be fair, I will watch anything with Paul Rudd.
Yeah. He is like the Tom Hanks of comedy.
Yeah. You know what? He is. I've never heard someone say that, but I totally agree with that. That is a cool statement.
I will consider watching anything he's in, even if I am like,
you have some sort of doubts about it.
I saw Wanderlust, and I was like, that looks crappy. You know what? Paul Rudd's in
it. That's how I am with, like, if I see Bill Murray's in something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, well, Bill Murray's in it. Or, well, Dan Aykroyd's in it.
Yeah.
Like,
and I never thought I'd be that person, but, some people...
Yeah. But, well, we're going to start discussing this movie. We'll talk about writing since we brought it up earlier.
We're going to let Hannah go first for each topic.
Well, here's the thing. I hope, I really, really hope deeply that this is meant to be tongue-in-cheek. And extremely... yeah. And, I feel like... I'm not positive, but I think this is loosely based on Emma. Is it not?
Yes, it was.
Because, I mean... Okay, so if anyone's ever read Emma, it's like a matchmaker, like somebody who's going out of their way to get other people together, and just finds deep pleasure in doing things.
Like female Cupid.
And ruins things. In the process. It's horrible at it.
Right.
But thinks they're amazing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
so I tried to think of it that way. Like, I tried to think of it like this is meant to be making fun of this, especially California attitude, Californian attitude.
Oh, it's a huge
Beverly Hills,
and that's exactly
Valley
what me and Eric were thinking.
It's a huge play on the Valley Girl.
And some parts are legitimately funny.
Oh yeah, they
are very funny.
My favorite joke in the whole movie is it's like trying to find meaning in a Pauly Shore movie.
Yeah,
like
and
that
she
is my
said that.
That is my favorite joke because I love Pauly Shore. I do. And I love his movies. And you either love them or hate them. I love them all. But
I love them too, and I don't get it.
I don't. There's no meaning in them, but we love them. But yeah, that's my favorite joke in it. And the writing in here.
It has moments that's really funny.
It does. It has those little teeny bits of moments.
They're witty. And here's the thing: they don't really fit her character. And so the one thing I did like was when she'll say a word and she doesn't exactly say it right.
Yeah.
Like, I think Paul Rudd calls her out on one of those.
On multiple occasions, he calls her out.
Paul Rudd gets the best dialogue of the whole movie.
Yeah.
He does. He gets the best dialogue.
Well, because he's like our sane character, so I guess it bothers me intensely that he ends up falling for her.
Yeah.
Because I'm like...
Yeah. Spoilers.
Like, well, like when...
Can you spoil this movie?
It is. Came out since '95, but there's a big... If you haven't seen this... There's a big reveal.
At the end.
We're gonna wait to the end of this podcast to tell you about.
When you and I were watching it, Eric,
we just watched it today.
We kind of feel like Paul Rudd, like you said, is the same person.
He's us.
Yeah, he's
us. Like
we're like, oh, thank God, a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt when he came on the screen. Like, oh my God, is that Paul Rudd?
Yeah.
Nate's
he's
like, yes,
so
it
good
is.
looking. Like, I just want to look in his green eyes.
He's so young in this too. Like, he is super young in this.
Yeah.
Like, he had to be about between our collective ages. He had to be somewhere between us.
Yeah.
Like all of our collective ages.
The other great thing about the dialogue too, about the writing too, is that again, this movie kind of is one of those movies that oozes the time period which it came out.
It's a capsule movie.
Like, I'm totally bugging
it's so
now.
90s.
Gotta
groovy.
Dope.
And like, for some reasons,
drugs,
I like it. Like, for some reasons, I like it because it's like, it's so silly. This is something that you could just have on in the background and be doing other stuff and just like tune into the parts that you think are funny and whatever. But it's like, when I imagine myself reading this script and like throwing it into the garbage.
In the trash.
This is just never going to work.
And I think here's the weird thing. A lot of people will disagree with us.
They will. We know.
Because they have a fondness for this movie.
Yes.
And think about the other movies that came out at this time. Like, Empire Records I really love. And that's a cult classic.
Yeah.
And it's kind of not the best writing in the world.
No.
But it's an ensemble. And it's like there were a lot of movies in the 90s that were kind of like this teen soapy movie.
Yeah, there's actually a direct parody that came out for him called Not Another Teen Movie, which I love that movie. It's hilarious. And it's parodying a lot of what was in here. And Ben Affleck's in it.
I've never seen that either.
It's good. It was made back when parody movies were still good.
Right.
Yeah.
I was telling these guys who haven't seen 10 Things I Hate About You,
we have not.
double.
We're sorry, all right?
I can't get over it because it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
It's also kind of a cult classic movie, but the writing
I think it is a cult classic considered.
But the writing is very witty, and the main character is extremely smart.
Yeah, because that's another thing I should mention. I know when you watch a movie generally, you're supposed to kind of connect with the main character and feel for her. Didn't do that in this movie.
Now, to be fair, the book that's based on Emma that's the exact concept. Is you're supposed to be like, I don't even like this person.
Oh, okay. Well, then if that's the point, then it sold me.
Yeah.
But here's the difference. By the end, you're supposed to have kind of a change of heart, or at least you understand her, and you're like, all right, she's trying.
I'm just laughing at how dumb she is.
I know. Wait.
But you know what's weird is that I do like that, for instance, she's a virgin, but not because she's saving herself, but because no guy is good enough.
Good enough for her. Yeah. It's like
she's saving herself for Luke Perry.
Yeah, which
she's saving herself for Jesus.
Back in the day, a lot of girls Luke Perry was up there.
He was the man.
He was up back in this when this movie was filmed. He was up there. And this by the way, remember, this movie was filmed when Luke Perry was a big thing and Mark Wahlberg was still going by Marky Mark.
Yeah.
So
there are some throwaway lines.
This movie kind of makes me feel old.
This movie makes all of us feel old, probably.
You were.
I was 5. I was 5 when this movie came out.
I was 11.
But like we talked about with this writing, I love one of my favorite things about movies and movies like this is that it's a time capsule. You put this movie in your DVD player or your Blu-ray player.
All right, here we are.
And you're going back in time. And that's why I love 80s movies so much, because I go back in time every time I watch Ferris Bueller or Back to the Future or Fast Times at Ridgemont High or any other number of 80s movies that I'm a huge fan of, because half my collection is 80s movies. But no, the writing was good, and the director. We'll just segue into directing, because Amy Heckerling both wrote and directed this movie. Wrote, whatever. she did both, and I thought it was funny because I'm like, this movie's probably directed by a dude, and then no,
because if it was, then it would be much more sexualized. I think
that's you know what, that's very true. I didn't think about that.
It's not.
It's not hugely sexualized. It's not.
But how?
I didn't get the message I wanted at the end. I think
I didn't get that either.
I could have forgiven all of the things
if there was like a big message,
like Brittany Murphy's character. Yes. We can segue into acting with this.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, because Brittany Murphy in this movie. You said Paul Rudd was a redeeming factor. I think it's Brittany Murphy.
She's so adorable.
She is.
Yeah,
she really is. Like, I remember me and Katie were watching it. And I remember when they all went out dancing. And there's the shot of her dancing by herself. And I was like, she's so adorable. And I turned to Katie and I was like, I want one. She's so cute. Yeah. It's so sad. I mean, she died 10, 11, 12, 5 years ago.
Yeah.
She was in her 30s.
She had some potential.
She did, man.
If I remember right, she was starting to do like really, really good dramatic work. Like, her career was
headed in the right place.
I could be wrong, but her career was starting to take off. And it's
tragic.
But it's good to go back over these things and then kind of think about that.
Yeah.
And, I think she has a spark, because when she first came on the screen, she just didn't you feel like you were behind her at that point?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like, I want her to be the main character.
Without her even saying anything.
Just shut up, Alicia, and let Brittany.
Also, they were making fun of her, and I was thinking I could be wearing all of those things.
Yeah. also, the guy that was the stoner guy.
Yeah.
Without the drugs, that was me in high school. Like, subtract the drugs.
Are you sure?
No, I'm sure about the drugs. I wouldn't lie about the drugs. Like,
oh, he's so pure.
Subtract the drug part. That guy was exactly me in high school.
With the absences? Did you have the absences?
No, actually, no.
32 absences. All right.
I don't know what to say. I did like that part.
I'd like to thank the bus driver for never showing up on time.
I'd like to thank my mom for not driving me to school.
And I'd like to thank McDonald's Egg McMuffins without whom I never would have been late in the first place.
That's so funny. I did like that part.
It has funny parts. I think it's just the main takeaway that is lacking.
Yeah.
But I mean, and I've talked with you, Eric, about this before. Alicia Silverstone is almost too good in this role.
She is repugnant.
You believe her.
It's scary
how good she is.
It's fitting,
especially with that whiny thing that she does.
Whining.
With the whiny thing that she does with that one guy who she thought she was going to get with what she didn't. Like,
Well, when she gets held up at gunpoint.
Oh yeah. Yes.
That I threw up in my mouth. And it was so awful. Like she is the epitome of what guys sometimes think of women. Like I'm going to break a nail and ruin my dress when I get mugged by this person, and that's my main concern.
And whenever something bad happens, I'm going to spend money that my daddy gave me, that he has, and I'm a spoiled little brat because my dad gives me everything that I want, and I drive a car even though I don't have a license.
And I can completely get my grades changed because I hook up teachers. Give teachers the hookup. She doesn't learn anything.
No, she doesn't. I think that's one of my main problems with her character is that she literally does not come from this experience with a moral.
She does learn something.
What? How to like hook up teachers?
I should help others by like.
She does learn something, but it doesn't happen till the end.
Yeah, to the very, very end.
And it's not even like tangible.
No,
I totally get the impression that that's gonna fly
but
out
we'll get to that.
1 year.
Yeah, I feel like when she's like, I want to help people at the end, she's like, it feels like, oh, I'm gonna help people this week.
But you can't even help yourself.
Yeah.
If anyone's ever experienced Kairos, or if you guys know what that is.
No,
I went to Catholic school, and at the end of your senior year, you go on this trip, and you talk about your feelings and stuff. Everyone becomes like friends for a week or 2 weeks. And everyone's super nice afterwards.
Yeah.
And then, it all snaps back at some point.
Unfortunately, that's how high school works.
She's one of those people.
Yeah, she is totally one of those people.
Yeah.
I jokingly said to Nate watching this, I'm like, Nate, I wish I would have watched this movie in high school because then I would know exactly how girls think.
And I'm sitting there,
wow, it's such insight.
I'm sitting there going,
insight.
No, you wouldn't.
Why she sends flowers and chocolates to herself to make guys think that someone else is trying to give.
Oh my god!
Like
the sad part about this is everybody who's listening to this, you probably knew someone like this.
I did.
In your high school or middle school or whatever.
Kidding? I was in
multiple people you probably knew like this.
Yeah.
The sad thing is this girl was probably a real person.
I went to school with girls like this, and I'm telling you, it's exactly. I actually did see.
Oh my god.
In my school, 2 girls walking side by side each other, like they do in the movie, on the phone, talking to each other on the phone. They're walking next to each other.
But here's the thing that really bothers me is these aren't the stories I want to hear.
No.
I want to hear like the good stuff, man. I mean, it can be funny and it can be a parody, but did we learn anything from this experience?
I learned that Alicia Silverstone is too good at playing a Valley girl, and that if you don't like someone, change them.
Well, and we'll talk about the ending, but I wish that she would have taken something away from it and stopped. I don't think she can stop it because I think her character is so ingrained.
No,
it's impossible.
She was a Barbie doll.
Maybe that's the point.
Yeah,
Barbie doll. This is almost a cartoon.
Almost
like how over the top and kind of like one-dimensional these characters are. It was almost a cartoon to me. Like they were almost cartoon characters.
I mean, I do find it funny.
You mean to tell me that you talked a C- up to an A+?
Great job, honey.
Great job, honey. Oh, and P.S. Speaking of how she, did or got those grades, can I just say I would rather have seen a movie about inconceivable the teachers getting together. I would have so rather seen a movie about that.
The best parts of this movie are the human parts, like the little glimmers of
look at that movie we could be watching.
But we're over here watching.
But we're over there.
Yeah.
That was such a nice thing.
Hooking up with the teacher.
And then at the very end when they get married, you're like, oh,
you guys are so
like I want to see more of that. So
like, I want that. I don't want as if anymore. Like, I don't know. That was like, that's how she got her letter. As I say, by the way, that doesn't work. I've seen it multiple times in cartoons and TV shows. That does not work.
What doesn't work?
Hooking up teachers, it doesn't ever work.
It's just like hooking up divorced parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, oh, Parent Trap. It worked in Parent Trap.
Oh, it worked in a movie. It must work in real life.
See, that's sad because sometimes I think about that.
P.S. Pause just before I forget. The one thing I remembered from this movie, from when I saw it, which I don't even remember how long it was, was Rolling with the Homies. That was the only thing I remember.
Rolling with the Homies. We're all doing the hand motion right now.
And why do I remember it? Because Brittany Murphy did it. And it was
Oh, yeah.
She's funny.
She was funny.
She's great.
She was great in it.
The wholesome thing. She nailed it.
She nailed it. Except when she was like a bitch at the end, like near like
for a hot second.
You're like a hot second.
You're a virgin who can't drive.
That is like totally harsh.
I remember when me and Nate were watching it, I'm like, oh my god, she's going over to the dark side. I'm like, not the cool dark side with lightsabers and force lightning, the bad cookies. One with like Gucci purses.
She's still kind of like the popular girl at,
like
towards
even
the end. She hasn't gone back to her.
Even when she's crying, she's going, rolling with them.
I know.
And it's so adorable.
P.S. Let's just. I think we should also discuss something that's also really huge in this movie is the fashion of the time. Just touch on it just a tad.
Well, it starts with fashion. The very first scene in the movie is her using a computer system to decide her outfit.
First of all, I'm impressed that she has that.
Spoiled brat.
Yeah. Her closet is like
Daddy
the TARDIS. Yeah. It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside.
It is.
It's like a Valley Girl TARDIS, and then you come in with her friend wearing these weird hats that she looks like she won from Kings Island's booths. Like one of her hats, I swear, has like swirls on it. Like what claw machine did you pick that out of?
But it does take you like.
It takes you back though.
And can I tell you something? Not
pagers.
Pagers. Not. I'm talking like the clothes that Breckenmeyer wears and Paul. Like I wear clothes like that.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in that time.
Yeah. So did I.
Yeah.
We all did.
And they have that moment where she's analyzing like the whole group of guys that have like their pants hanging down. And
I was watching this too. I was like, I agree.
Yeah.
Like we're supposed to drop. Like we're supposed to just like fawn over you guys dressing like that. I'm like, you know what?
That's true. That's a valid.
I agree with you.
That is one smart thing that you've said.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Oh, you guys remember that? There are some things she says that are just so straight up ridiculous. I can't even. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like she quoted something.
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
What
was
Shakespeare. I don't remember what the poem was.
It was Hamlet.
It was
like,
Hamlet.
How do you not know?
Was it Hamlet?
No, the Mel Gibson thing is different because she was quoting the movie, so at least she was still the right source material.
Yeah,
but the other one, she was like, "You don't know this poem? No, where's it from? Cliff's Notes."
Oh yeah. That was yeah. That.
Oh my god.
Because you're like, oh, she actually knows. No, she doesn't.
I'm like, I use Spark Notes. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I use Spark Notes.
Right.
But okay. Do you guys have favorite scenes in this movie?
I don't, and I thought about it for a while.
I don't. I do have one. The credits. Because it's over.
I do have one.
All right, Nate, fill us in.
All right, hit us.
Because
does it have Brittany Murphy in it?
Sadly, no.
Oh.
I wish that it did.
Oh, okay.
But my favorite part is where she's walking around and they're playing, what's the All by Myself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
She's walking around and then she walks in front of the fountain.
Yeah.
And the fountain.
Oh yeah.
And it's kind of like that metaphorical, light bulb. I'm in love.
Wait, no. Wait, Nate. Before you say this, we're gonna talk about the ending now. And if you don't want to know the ending, you have a chance to pause this and then
pause it right now.
Go watch the movie and then come back.
Go back, watch the movie and come back. And if you don't want to do it, fine, it's your loss. But okay, yeah, the metaphorical light bulb comes on, and I'm in love with
my brother-in-law,
stepbrother.
I keep messing that up. Stepbrother.
Nate is deeply disturbed by this, and he can't get past it.
Yeah,
it's gross.
But I had to explain like 5 times to you, dude. Their parents have had like 6 marriages or something.
Yeah, but
they were probably wait, hold the phone.
Okay.
That's not his dad. Like,
no, it's not.
Biologically.
No,
they didn't grow up together.
No, they didn't.
Their parents were just married what sounds like very briefly.
Yeah, like
and
2
then
seconds.
Whatever.
More briefly than Britney Spears.
So it's essentially a legality.
But at the same time...
It's still weird.
At the same time, it's still a little weird. You have to admit it's a little... It's like tiptoeing on a little weird. Because like... It's just I know that the parents haven't been married that long. And it's like she's not. They haven't been really.
Have other spouses
but like, it's still weird to me like that she falls in love with her stepbrother,
Yeah.
It just feels really weird to me.
I mean, when you just say it, it sounds weird. But
it's even weirder that he feels the same way.
I don't know. I guess maybe I'm taking. Maybe
they're
it's
not
just
real family. So
no, they're not.
I mean, I've never seen this happen, and maybe it would be weird if they grew up their whole lives.
That'd be
then it'd be weird to me because then it would be like an almost brother. But I don't think they even spent.
I don't know. It just to me,
it's.
But why did it even need to be that?
Like, to be fair, why did they need to have that?
Why couldn't Paul Rudd have just been, this guy
that's working on the case?
Right.
Yeah, why did it have to be a stepbrother?
Yeah.
So we wouldn't guess? I don't know.
I don't know.
But it
would have been a better plot device.
I think it was unnecessary.
I think it was an unnecessary thing they had to do.
He could have just been
a guy that was helping her father work on a case.
Yeah.
That could have been just it. It would have been easy. I think that would have been easier to write.
And honestly, all of the stuff they had talking about him dealing with, like all the common college issues, I guess.
Yeah.
Or forming your identity.
Yeah.
It wasn't really that relevant.
No, it wasn't. It was, and from what he said, it really didn't hold weight. I'm trying to find my identity and stuff. It's like, dude, no, you're not. You're barely in this movie.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't get your struggle.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because you feel like he's sort of doing the same thing she is.
Yeah.
And trying to make it look like he's trying to make himself look so like an intellectual. So she's trying to be super popular and he's trying to be super intellectual, and they're both kind of faking.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
he reminded me of.
That's the deepest I can get.
That's though thanks to this movie, I do finally know there's the Not Another Teen movie because I can't help compare these.
I can't help it compared to 10 Things I Hate About You.
But in Not Another Teen movie, it's a parody movie of like all that came out in this day and age.
Yeah.
And there's a character. I think the character's brother is played by Ben Affleck. He plays like the jock. And there's this girl who's his sister. All right. And the running joke through the entire movie is she wants to do her brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I finally get what that's referencing because of this movie.
So
it was because in that movie in the Not Another Teen movie, they're blood related. Like there's a part in the song where it's like they have this prom tonight song at the it's a have a musical number.
I just watched.
Does anyone have a paper bag?
And she's like, so what if we have the same mother tonight? I'm gonna fuck my brother. I'm like, oh my god.
I just saw. I don't know if you guys have heard of Broad City. It's a comedy show on. It's on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
But there is a plot line like that where the person's like in love with their brother. I don't think it's funny. I can't get past it. I think it's gross. So I'm on the same.
Yeah.
It's just some gross thing.
Well, we also got thanks to Clueless. We got the Clueless TV show, and we all know how well that.
Oh, that went soup. I forgot all about that. Oh my god, I forgot all about that show. That lasted for 10 episodes.
Because here's the thing, there's so much good TV that could be made, but isn't made because you're like, well, that's not going to sell. No, that's not on TV now.
Yeah.
You're like, well, that's the whole point, isn't it?
Yeah. I forgot about that. I so forgot about that.
Support good art, people.
And if you're gonna,
thanks NBC for canceling Community, by the way.
You're welcome.
Thanks for that, and canceling Parks and Rec. Thanks.
Yeah. You know what?
Soapbox.
Yeah.
Soapbox. Stepping off of it now.
And I can't even begin to explain why I'm going to defend Clueless here, but if you're gonna do a Clueless TV show, get Alicia Silverstone.
Because she's not doing anything.
Because she's not doing a damn thing.
No, except talking to parents about why their kids should not get vaccinated.
Oh, I forgot that too.
She in real life is also just so
wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
Just a wealth of knowledge.
Well, let's face it, her choice, her body of work is not exactly.
And again, I'm sorry to keep bringing this up, but to pick Alicia Silverstone to play Barbara Gordon, who's supposed to be one of the most intelligent people that Batman knows, who literally feeds him advice through a computer once her legs don't work anymore. Oracle. This is who you picked to be Barbara?
Well, maybe she had an acting coach, and she was given So dialogue.
We have to talk about that movie soon on this podcast because there's so many things I want to talk about with it. Because how do you lose your accent when when you get to America, but you've been in England?
Why would you make a Batmobile a convertible? That's just asking.
Why would you not want your daughter to know, your niece to know about Batman, but also have a suit in her exact measurements waiting for her to change into?
We could
go on and on about that.
It'll be a special.
Guys, we will have our time. It'll be okay.
It'll be a special 3 hour podcast.
But
let's talk about the ending. The ending.
Of what? Clueless? We already did.
No, did we really?
Not really.
No. Well, she learned. She's like, I want to help people, which again, she probably says, I want to help people for a week.
Right. So, exactly.
Yeah. So she's like, I'm gonna organize this and this and this, and by the time it takes you to take the DVD out of its case, the character probably was like, oh look, shoes.
Oh my God, shoes.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, who remembers that?
I did.
I remember shoes.
She catches the bouquet.
And they kiss
for an awkwardly long time.
Very strange. But like what I was talking about earlier with the ending is I was hoping that Brittany Murphy would go more towards her original, organic, authentic self.
Yeah.
And Alicia Silverstone would also realize, like, I've been being ridiculous for all this time.
Yeah.
You know, and none of those thoughts even happened. She's just like, oh, I like the wrong boy.
Because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Boys.
You know what would have been great? Light bulb. I love Dion.
Yeah, that'd have been great.
That would have been.
That'd have been great.
It would have been interesting.
Oh my God, I like girls. Whole new movie.
Oh,
I can honestly say that would be a movie I would watch.
I would watch that.
She's a virgin. No, I don't know.
I would
all right,
watch
guys.
that.
I'll work on that.
Clueless 2, the good one.
More clues.
More clues, less. Tagline of the movie.
Oh dear God.
Oh man.
That's all I got, Flavor Flav. I can't. If I talk too much longer, I'll get all feministy on here.
I'll get all feministy on this.
To use a word that really exists.
Feminicity.
Oh man. We've had our time with Clueless, and I guess our verdict is if you want to watch it, you can watch it.
It's funny.
It's funny.
Watch it and make your own interpretation. Don't
expect to get a whole lot out of it.
You're not going to get a whole lot. You're just going to understand that the people in this movie are making fun of the Valley girl, blonde, daddy's little girl, brat who got everything.
I'm never a fan. Just another thing. I'm never a fan of grown women who call their dad daddy.
No, it's awkward.
I've never been a fan of that, no matter what it is.
No character development whatsoever.
No.
I'm never a fan of parodying something, but you're thus glorifying it without...
You're becoming a parody of yourself.
There has to be a consequence.
Yeah.
If there's no consequence, then there's no point.
There's no consequence to her character, like, not learning this lesson, but there's also no revelation of her actually learning this lesson.
Her father even applauds her for being stupid.
Her father applauds her for cheating her way to good grades.
Yeah.
I would like everyone to watch this movie, then watch 10 Things I Hate About You directly after, and see. It's like the answer. It's like the answer, because you guys will so understand when you see this, but the dad only wants the girls to not date at all and to get good grades, and like he's supportive, but only if they're like doing the right things.
Can I just say that if my future daughter turns out like this, I will fucking disown her. I really will.
Harsh.
She's a brat. She's a brat. No, I won't.
But your daughter would never become that because you would never enable her.
Yeah,
that is true.
And you know what? I just have to say, if you're looking for a good, for lack of a better term, chick flick. If you're looking for lack of a better term, if you're looking for a good one, there's a lot of better ones out there. Like you said, 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah, like.
And 16 Candles, which is one of my favorites.
Yes.
I think we need to come up with a new term for those things. That movies that you might on the outside be like, if you just saw the preview, you'd be like, that seems kind of chicky, or whatever you dudes think about these things.
If you grew up in the 90s and you
if you
grew up in the 90s and you grew up with these certain phrases, you might like it just because of that.
For nostalgia purposes.
It's like watching I Love the 90s, but oh,
I love that show.
Less awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
A good.
Hi.
Oh, look.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah. Kitties. Oh, God.
Sorry.
We're podcast. Okay. It's almost done.
Everybody say hi to Hannah's girlfriend.
Everybody say hi to Hannah's girlfriend.
I'm blushing. It's fine.
Oh, that's adorable. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Movie Crunch. We, again, new movies every Monday. And this is the part of the show where we plug our separate things.
Wait a minute. We have to apologize. Why were we not able to do it last week? Oh, yeah, because midterms suck.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, midterms.
So we are so sorry.
That's something we should say. I'm sorry about that.
We stress and
Yeah, midterms were terrible. Sorry about that.
We're past that,
and we're better people, and we've moved on.
Forgive us.
We've moved on. But this is the part of the show where we plug our individual things.
Yes.
I'll go first since I'm talking already. I'm plugging Mild Mannered Geek. New videos every Wednesday. This month is Batman month. Whole May is Batman month.
Woohoo!
And
I'm
yeah, that.
No, I
am. I am Spartacus.
Spartacus. You mean Spartacus?
Baticus. Spartacus. We forgot about that. It's just like Socrates. It's just like Socrates. But yeah, I go on Mild Mannered Geek. I'll put it at the link in the description. I just reached 40 subscribers.
Awesome.
To my Mild Mannered Geek channel.
This is 40.
Which is almost 45 and less, but more than 35. I'm hoping to get. I just like any of my videos, subscribe. I'm hoping to get, because if I can get to 40, I can get to 50, then I can get to 100.
Guys, help him out.
You can do.
So I do make new videos every Wednesday, so check that out. And we also, again, hopefully we'll be doing more skits on the show. We're trying to work that out.
Yeah.
We'll just go this way. Nate, plug your blog, please.
My shameless plug is you can find me on Blogger. It's called Movie Crunches. Basically, the movies that we discuss on these podcasts, I do blogs about. And again, I'm sorry because I haven't been keeping up with it recently. Again, because of midterms and the stress and all that jazz. But I'm fine now. I'm better. Thank you. So yeah, you can find me on Blogger. It's called Movie Crunches. In case you don't want to hear our sexy voices, you can read my blog.
I don't know why you wouldn't want to.
Shameless plug 3. Okay. So mine are more like bi-weekly. Let's be real. I work full time as well as going to school, so
it's okay.
It's some rough stuff, guys. I'm also moving right now, so real life boring stuff. But anyway, I already filmed the next episode of Lady Parts. You may have heard my beautiful singing voice, Lady Parts. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
So I'll be posting that probably this weekend, and it will be about blue is the warmest color.
That's right.
I'd like to see that.
We're talking about female roles in film. Some of my favorite movies, some newer movies, so we can look at, acknowledge, and appreciate.
Blue is the warmest color is actually fairly new, isn't it?
Just last year. It's a French film. It's very racy.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Good. It's very good.
Based on a graphic novel.
Yes,
too,
sir.
It was
good
based on
man.
A graphic novel.
I really enjoyed your Fried Green Tomatoes.
Yeah.
I kind of like to see it, the movie.
It's very good.
But I really enjoyed it.
Yes, that was my last one that I posted. And so I'll keep those coming. Don't worry about it. I'm not as good as the Mild Mannered Geek here. I'm more like a medium mannered.
Well, to be
feminist.
fair, because of editing, because I send my videos away to be edited by Katie Minnie. You're the best. Sometimes they don't get in time, so I will upload videos every Wednesday, but sometimes they won't be new episodes of the Mild Mannered Geek show, quote unquote. They might be gameplay videos, they might be other things. I might upload one today as I'm recording this, maybe just briefly talk about the new bat suit from my webcam.
He does a lot of stuff.
Whereas I edit my own, so that's why it takes me a bit longer.
But they're all great. We all got great stuff. And speaking of great, we're going to be doing a really good movie next week, and that Hannah's super excited for. I'm super excited for.
I'm actually very excited because I just watched this movie for the first time like 3 weeks ago.
It is my favorite movie.
Since it is your favorite movie, Hannah, tell us what movie we're going to be talking about next week.
We are going to talk about The Princess Bride, and I will try my darndest to refrain from quoting the entirety of the movie.
Inconceivable.
By the way, that guy is in Clueless. We said that.
Yes.
Again, as soon as he came on the screen, I'm like, inconceivable.
Yes.
I don't think that would mean what you think it means. But anyways, next week, Princess Bride. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be awesome.
We love you.
It's going to be super awesome.
You're the best.
We love guys.
You listen to us.
Thank you so much, guys, for listening. As always, if you want to tell us a movie that you want us to talk about, go ahead and put it down in the comments below, because we appreciate anything you do for us, liking, favoriting, subscribing, anything, spreading us all around the internet.
It really helps.
It's really good. Spread us like a really fine. Can't believe it's not butter because we're all watching our weight.
It's just pepper. Just sprinkle it on everything.
That was a bad joke. I apologize.
That
was a bad joke. I apologize for that. I did not say that joke.
I have no idea where you were
I don't know. I don't think I knew where I was going with it. It was like derailing. But yes, thank you so much for listening. Like, favorite, subscribe to all of the socials that we have. All of our channels, like, favorite, subscribe to those. And again, leave a comment down below on why you don't like Clueless or why you do like Clueless. And also suggest movies that you want us to talk about, because we will talk about them. We'll read them and talk about them.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, guaranteed. So thank you so much for watching. And as always, for Movie Crunch Podcast, I am Eric O'Donnell.
I'm Nate Scheffner.
I'm sorry. I mean Hannah.
You mean Spartacus? Are you Spartacus?
Are you Spartacus? Thank you so much for listening, and have a great night and a pleasant tomorrow, because I haven't thought of a sign-off yet.